Couldn't believe I was watching a James Wan movie, and this is what I was watching. This is what I was feeling. Hey you guys, it's CrayDre, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Comment, like, ultimately you want to subscribe. I mean, that's why you watching it, right? Well, you could just be watching it because, you know, you want the review. But either way you watching, I'm going to hop right into it. I'm reviewing Malignant, and I got my notes because I got some things to say. And this actually came out a couple weeks ago. It's directed by James Wan. I am a die-hard horror fan. I'm not just a regular James Wan, to me, is probably like my top 5 horror movie directors of the last 10-15 years. It doesn't really get better than him. He has made some of the most terrifying movies. They're so nightmarish.
Don't scare me.
When I watch a James Wan movie, I'm watching it to be scared. He's the scary what I really want when I go to a movie. His scares are earned. They're not cheap scares. I walked into this movie expecting to be scared. I'm expecting that from James Wan because he set that standard for me. Like Dead Silent, The Conjuring 2, Insidious. I legit come into these movies to be scared. So that's what I'm coming into this movie with. I don't set this standard from a lot of horror directors. If I don't know your work, I kind of walk in there with like, you could be good or you could be bad. There is nobody like James Wan. I'm actually going to make another video about just talking about James Wan and how much I love him and his films. So I found out about Malignant, and he kept everything under wraps. He revealed that it might have like a monster. I got a little nervous about that part because I don't really like monster horror movies like that. I didn't watch the trailer. I didn't even read the synopsis yet. I walked in there with no expectations, and actually I avoided the trailer on purpose. I want to know nothing. Can you imagine going into a horror movie not knowing anything at all? Literally, you don't know nothing about the movie. So you're not picturing a certain scare in your head, just going in there blinded. Every scare is going to be probably scary to you. This movie stars Annabelle Wallis and Mckenna. I know Annabelle Wallis. She starred in Annabelle. It was directed by John R. Leonetti, who actually directed Mortal Kombat like years ago. So it's about a woman who's paralyzed by like fear because like she's having like premonitions or like visions. It's almost seeming like her dreams or her visions are becoming like a reality. I'm gonna probably have more negative things to say than positive. I'm gonna be honest. Let me just tell y'all what let me just say what I did like. I like the music. The music kind of really stands out. The music really does stand out. It's really like, it's got like this 80s like deep like retro vibe, that feel to it. I'm a big lover of music, so when I hear soundtracks, I got a favorite horror film soundtrack. It Follows, if you guys ever seen that. Music is by Disaster Piece. I love that soundtrack. It carried that movie. The music is really good. It's got this deep 80s like retro vibe. I will have to say at the top of the most, this movie is a beautiful movie. It's like a beautiful film. I will always say about James Wan, he makes beautiful movies. He works well with like angles and like how he approaches them. Even the scares are like not always on the right side of the screen. Sometimes it's on the left side. He's just a very amazing director, just period. I actually really like the look of the antagonist. I really did like the look of it. I found it to be not super scary, but like it gave me that old like 90s horror vibe to it. So I kind of like that a lot. I've always been a fan of the whole mask, long hair, dark silhouette type of a look. I don't want to see what you look like to me. It makes you more human. It has like an 80s like vibe to it of love. I love 80s slasher Giallo, and this movie actually has a lot of Giallo references. So if you guys don't catch it, it's actually pretty cool. Directors like Dario Argento or Lucio Fulci or Mario Bava. I just messed up his name, but I'm more of a Dario Argento person. He's just who I first got introduced to when I first started watching Italian horror. Tenebrae is one of my favorite films of his. I don't know why. It's just something about that movie. I think the soundtrack really makes me love it. You see what I mean when I say I like the music? Those are honestly the only things that I liked about the movie. Oh, and I love the Giallo references. I thought that was a cool fusion. I like the music. I love that deep 80s like retro vibe. I like the direction. The movie is it's a beautifully shot movie. I love the look of the antagonist. So let me tell you guys what I didn't like. As soon as the credits started, I could just feel my expectation just dropping. and I'm like 75% depressed. I think I just knew I wasn't gonna like it already. When it starts, it's like this like rock metal kind of it's like a hard rock, kind of a bold music, kind of, that's how it starts. This is not the tone for me to be scared. I'm trying to be terrified out of my mind. I can feel myself just getting depressed. The tone wasn't even there. Very early into the film, we kind of get introduced to the antagonist. I don't know, it was just like, bam, there's the antagonist. There is a section of the movie where the antagonist is revealed, or better yet, its face is more revealed. It made him like less frightening to me. I really wish they had not shown that. That was like a big breaker for me. As the movie's going on, I find myself just feeling more and more depressed because I'm starting to see. Sorry, I thought I heard something. There was no anything to alert my senses that something is about to happen. That's some good tea, y'all. In the horror experience, for me, I'm a five senses kind of person. It's about how I feel. Do I get chills? Do I get goosebumps that make my hair raise? Do I get any of those? If I get those, then it's a good horror film. But I did not like this movie. Truly didn't like it. I just didn't like it. It was not my cup of tea. It was not what I expected from a James Wan horror film. As soon as I left the movie, I watched the trailer to see. I wanted to see the movie that I just witnessed. Does the trailer make it seem like it's a completely another movie? I had to see that. He's talking about the movie, how it's different and how he went to go for something different. That's exactly what this movie is. I've never wished that I watched the trailer so bad. When I tell you guys, I love James Wan that much. His movies are on that level for me, that there is no. Here's one of the other reasons why I consider James Wan movies so scary. There was a time like 5 years ago, I was really, really depressed that day. Like, I didn't even want to go to the theater. I had set up with a friend already. We were going to go see The Conjuring 2. I think I was in my apartment and I was like emotional. Like, I think I was like having an emotional day. She knocked on my door and we went for 2 hours and 13 minutes. I was terrified. My depression like literally went away from me. I swear, I forgot what I was even going through about. That's why his movies have that effect on me. It's a reason. This movie is like 3 genres in one. I didn't feel like there was much horror in this movie. It's so strange because this movie is actually rated R and it has strong bloody violence. Like, it's a pretty bloody and gory film. He doesn't really make really like gory horror films. His movies are like legit what I believe is the essence of horror. You don't need all the strange nudity. You don't need blood, just pure scares. There was no horror in this movie. It had elements of horror, like the bloodiness and the goriness. My heart never skipped a beat. It never got ready to skip a beat. I legit didn't go through any of that. Like, my heart stayed normal, like pretty much every scene. There were a couple of times in the movie that I got like goosebumps a little bit, but they went away instantly because the tone was already off. There's like no tension. Any of that. To be honest, y'all, I fell asleep 3 times. I did. I fell asleep like 3 times. I told y'all when the movie started, I was like 75% depressed. I could just tell I wasn't gonna like it. I kind of felt like this was gonna be bad. This was gonna be so bad, and it was. It honestly, my feeling that I felt in the beginning was true. The acting is very cheesy. Annabelle, Wallis, the starring character, I will say that I believe her performance was the best performance. And I think it was definitely a stretch for her because what I've seen of her in Annabelle, different, complete character for her. So props to her playing that character. But the acting is very cheesy. There's a few moments where I feel like some very emotional and dramatic information is being relayed to another character, and like, did you hear what she just said to you? Okay, never mind, I don't know. So yeah, I just felt like the acting was very cheesy, so it took me out of the horror even more, on top of me not really feeling like I was watching a horror film, even though it had elements of horror. I have no idea. I didn't like the feel of this movie. I truly didn't like it. Feel was not my, it's just not my cup of tea. I love tea. I drink a cup literally every day. I had like 2 moments where my hair raised up, but it went away like in 2 seconds. And ultimately, here's like the biggest reason why I didn't like this movie. It feels like an action horror movie. I'm not a fan of action horror movies. I don't like the mixing. I don't like, I hate comedy horror. Comedy horror. The only person I think I really liked that was comedy horror is like, maybe like the Chucky series. Jordan Peele did it good. Get Out, some people consider like that a comedy horror. That movie's more of a horror movie. Never mind, I take that back. I don't really like my comedy mixing with my horror. I'll make another video talking about this because I feel like it's very important to talk about when it comes to viewing a horror movie. Viewing a horror movie is rules. It's a formula that got to be followed. You only have one shot to watch that movie. And if you watch it with the wrong environment, the wrong crowd, can ruin that experience. And you're not going to be able to unsee those scares and feel that tension that first time. Try to hold movies to a realistic standard. I don't just walk into every movie thinking I'm going to be scared out of my mind. I'm just not really a big fan of like the action, like horror. The movie has that vibe. If you guys are online, you've been hearing about that twist. There's like this action sequence at the end of the movie where I legit was just sitting there like, this is awful. I didn't feel scared, not really one time. My heart didn't skip no beats. I didn't feel anything. It's so depressing. The movie actually isn't like super that bad. Actually, if it was like a standalone movie that I was watching from another director, I probably would have liked this movie a lot more. This is James Wan. He's put that standard on me. I can't undo it. But you know, now I will. If he comes out with another film, because he's been on this Aquaman Furious. Now I'm terrified because I'm like, what if he makes something even more different and he doesn't go back? But I walked into this movie with no expectations at all. I legit didn't know nothing about this movie. I just feel crushed. This movie just was so disappointing to me. I'm reading online and people talk about how good it is. The critics are talking about how good it is. I actually hated this movie. I'll probably never watch this movie ever again. I felt like I was having a mental battle the whole movie. I'm sitting here trying not to display my depression so evidently. When the twist happened, I was like, James Wan movie. And this is what I'm watching. Like, I almost couldn't believe it. The more I think about it, maybe I was expecting another Conjuring type film. Same kind of formula. A haunted house, a family, a ghost. It's always like supernatural type of a horror. That is not what you're going to get with this movie. If you've seen the trailer, you probably already know that. I kind of wish, honestly, that I watched the trailer. My standards probably would have gotten lower. I had my standards so high and he completely switched up on me. I respect James Wan as a director deciding to go a different route than people expect him to. That shows that he's really trying to grow as a director. He's not trying to stay in the same place. As a content creator or director of any kind of content, when you create, your audience is going to expect you to create what you made when they start to love you. So you might feel like you got to do that same kind of content. That takes a lot of boldness. I compare this same boldness to Rob Zombie, who directed Halloween and Halloween 2. I actually really hated those movies, by the way. Completely awful. Like, say I respected him for taking a franchise like Halloween, as big as Halloween is, and deciding to go like a different direction. I think that takes a lot of boldness. And I think that's really cool. So no, I respect Rob Zombie for doing that. However, I did not like those movies. Even though this movie wasn't my cup of tea, I do know that somebody could watch this movie and legit like the movie. I'm not even going to say that they're not. I just did not like it. I got very high standards. You know, if it was another director, it would have been a completely different story. If you guys haven't seen the movie yet and you want to go, you guys go to the movie. Go. Some people think it's weird to go by themselves. Who says it's weird to go to a movie by yourself? If you don't have nobody to go, just go. You can go. Why not? I go to the movie by myself all the time. I love it. Go to the movies by yourself. Do things by yourself more. You will be a better person. I promise you. You'll have a better relationship with yourself and you're more in tune with your thoughts and your emotions. Just go, please. It's fine. And I encourage you guys to don't watch the trailer. The next horror movie you want to see, don't watch the trailer. The experience that you'll have. I went to go see it. I didn't watch the trailer. Okay, I'll take that back. I lied. I watched the teaser trailer, but I didn't watch the full trailer. I didn't watch the full trailer until after I saw it. If you're a horror movie fan, next movie you want to go see, like right now, I haven't watched the Halloween Kills trailer. Every movie I go to see, I hear it. I just start looking down. I don't even try to even let it happen. But I still love James Wan. because I understand that it was a creative turn for him. It wasn't like he just made this horrible film. It was a creative difference, and the creative differences didn't align, and that's why I don't like it. To leave a comment in the section about how you guys liked it. Did you guys like the movie? I didn't like it. You'll never hear me say on this channel to not see a movie because I didn't like it. I'm just telling y'all I didn't like it. But y'all might like it. If we got a similar taste, then I can understand. Everybody got different tastes for a reason. That's why I find it so dumb with social media. Your own mind is there for a reason, for you to think your own thoughts, your own feelings, not what they tell you. I'm gonna be depressed probably for like a month straight. I'm not even lying. So you guys, on this channel, I don't leave stars. I leave red velvet cakes. I love red velvet cakes so much. I'm giving this movie 2.5 red velvets out of 5. I'm only giving it this because it's James Wan. I just found it to be crazy and very silly, and it's not that same horror tone. I think this is a beautifully directed movie. I think that the acting is very cheesy, but I think that the acting is supposed to be cheesy. Something tells me that this is very intentional, so I'm looking at it with that type of intention because it's James Wan, and he's not an average director. He's been in the game for a while. So I feel like it's intentional. It having like that really campy tone to it, I think it was supposed to have that. I think that was intentionally supposed to be there. 2.5 out of 5, man. James Wan, I love you. You are still one of my favorite directors. However, I just did not like this movie at all. Kind of am mad at myself, but I'm not really mad at myself. But I am kind of mad at myself that I didn't watch the trailer, because had I watched the trailer, my expectations probably would have been in a better place. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, because I want you guys to see more what I gotta talk about. Actually, I will be talking about Candyman. I have a lot of things to say about that movie. Like, I have a lot of things to say. Till then, you guys stay blessed, stay safe, and I cannot wait to see you guys for another video.